Hey, Lincoln, where's Lincoln? Oh, you got the clip.
Dance with me. Dance machine.
I played the
It is. David Martin.
Thank you, Lincoln. Okay, yeah, you're supposed to lead us in a song today.
I am. You know, this is the second step of my choral career. I was asked by a choral group once to sing 10 or 12 miles from them. So I was trying to make up for it with enthusiasm while I'm lacking skill. I'm going to teach you a new song today. Everybody learn it.
Bro.
And you know some people that don't like happy birthday being sung to them?
Yeah.
Okay, there's some people that are that way. So this is the birthday song for people who don't like to have happy birthday songs.
Dedicate to Scott.
Yeah, that's Scott's birthday. So, if he gets going, try it. So, we will do the one line at a time, 6 syllables. This is your birthday song. So now you guys ready. This is your birthday song. Second line, and we'll put them together. It isn't very long. It isn't very long. Now put those two together and speak. This is your birthday song. It isn't very long.
Thank you, Dan. Michael, Bill, so it's not thought for the day.
This thought is from Maya Angelou, supposedly. Life is not measured by the breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, our grader, Lori, thank you very much. And, well, we have our audio man back. I don't have his name up here. Joe, the world traveler. Wow. Good to have you back. And we'll have our raffle and newsletter. Oh, Joe, are you still passing the newsletter over to Nick today?
I think for now, until next week, uncle.
Oh, well, he's been doing a great job of it.
I'll tell you what, it's been great. In fact, I regaled people on our boat with the newsletter. They absolutely love it. In fact, Nick, I think you might become the Viking newsletter person.
Takes my breath away.
Okay, well, thanks to both of you. And set up and take down. I appreciate all our members who show up early and the ones that stay late to make this meeting possible to get everything ready, break it down. Thank you so much. And visitors and guests. Do you have any guests today?
I would like to introduce you again to my daughter who's shopping for people like this one.
So we like her.
I'll just skip them. I wanted to Kathy Hicks, a fellow Rotarian from the Newton Club, who is our speaker today.
Okay, time to mute all. I don't think there's any all up there. Oh, yes, good morning, good morning. Sarah, and I get your name right for a change. Thank you. Absolutely gorgeous. You always do, but this picture is just beautiful. Thank you, Isabel. Yeah, we went to Prague, a little bit of an overwhelming experience. A bunch of kids in a big room dancing, so I'm not great, but it was, hang out with my friends. Picture on the right is me and Chiara, the student from Santa Rosa. She couldn't go to Rome, so we went to the inn. But we had lots of fun, and yeah, it was a great experience. Really enjoyed it. It's always starting with fun stuff sometimes. Thanks, Sarah. It's beautiful. And we had vegan, regular, and chili verde. And wow, this club put a lot of work into this, and we did get our name out there. I particularly thought the vegan was good. And that was excellent. They were all delicious, but thank you. Michael, do you want to say a few words? Are you here? Oh, there you are. You're hiding over there. Bill was the chair. Okay, well, I saw Michael there so much, I think, put that together.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that showed up and helped out. So if you participated in any way, stand up or set up, work in the booth, tear down, clean up, everybody look at that. What a job, huh? Thank you all so much. Giving us a valiant effort. That's what you say when you lose your platform. We had anticipated selling around 1,000, and that's what we bought for. Originally, we were going to be over where all the other food booths were, and then at the last week, they moved us over, and even the initial place they would have put us probably would have been okay. But where we ended up, we were the closest to that small gate, the exit gate where nobody goes. And in front of us, I thought we were going to be in that area where the band was playing main stage. It could have been great, except right where the band was, they had the booth selling the wristbands, and there was a long line for those folks. And then next to it, kitty corner across, was the beer tent where you spent your money on those tickets, and that was a line going in the other direction. And so it blocked almost everybody there. Although I do, well, we're not missing. I do have to say that the folks next to us in the fish and chips and oyster booth, particularly on Saturday, still did pretty fair amount of business. They had a line going in. Unfortunately, there weren't as many people enthusiastic about eating Tropic Joe's as we were about making it. So.
But they were good.
They were outstanding, and we had a great time doing it. We just didn't make much money.
Next year, brownie.
Magic brownies. This is what, we netted around, I think the gross receipts were around $1,600, but by the time we add up all of our expenses, not only for the food, but for the food, for the permits and all that kind of stuff, it's probably going to be a slight loss. On the other hand, we had planned ahead of time for our exit strategy, and on Saturday night, a whole bunch of that food went over to the Sebastopol Christian Church, and that's going to feed a whole bunch of folks. And then on Sunday night, we were selling bags of the leftover mixes to go, and we sold some of that. And the leftover raw materials, the ground beef and the pork and the chorizo, all went to Mario at Mexico Lindo. And where are we going for Cinco de Mayo for Good Friday? Mexico Lindo. So
They should Tropic Joe.
I hope. But the net result is that we will have made a donation to the guy who's gonna, take care of this for, Friday, so. Yeah.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you for all the hard work. Thank you for everybody. So much. Okay.
Wait, you have a question?
All of the ones went to the high school team.
Very good. Okay.
I think we were supposed to have gotten a discount this year because we paid for a booth that got canceled and we didn't get back, so yeah. We'll really go after it. First of all, like to know if Mike, it's his idea to have the puppy go just. We don't know. It's not a bad location. Anyway. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh, and we did have 2,500 pounds of oranges bagged, not all by us, of course, but we did do our meal over at the Redwood Empire Food Come to do every month. Bill was going to talk about Rotary Foundation, but I think, let's see, I'm looking at time. I'm going to give Kathy a little extra time. I know that we're putting this off for next week. You didn't have anything to do this last week, did you? Thank you. Okay, Kathy, come on up.
All started in 1958. No, I've been in real estate my entire life in some way, shape, form, or another. And everyone's question is always what's happening with the interest rate? What's my homework? Those are the two, I think, most popular questions. So for me, it's easier to just say, you gotta notice the economy. And the first time I noticed the economy was in the 1970s, oil embargo. Everybody remember that was there waiting in line for gas? I didn't think we got to build the tank up. Right? And I know from 74 or prior, because my dad is still riding the car, getting gas. That caused inflation, which raised interest rates. In the 70s, they started about 7%, they ended at 12.5%. By 1981, we hit the pinnacle of interest rates. They were 18.5%. I was buying my first house. I'd already done because everyone was into creative financing back then. And so we did a wrap instead because when we went to get the loan, it went up 5% in 1 week. So when someone took, I'm really sorry, but I can't really play a while. So really after 81, rates went down for 40 years, basically. And not to say there weren't hiccups along the way. So in 1984, I finished my economic thesis, and you've got to make lemonade out of lemons, right? And I proved that the recession we were in was 3 times the velocity of the Great Depression. But the government wasn't calling it a depression because it would spiral it more. So when I see things in the newspaper that are negative, I know how impactful that is, okay? So in 1984, I became a real estate agent. I was Rookie of the Year. And in 1985, rates went below 10%. We were dancing in the streets. I mean, whoa, below 10%. This is like terrific. And up until 1990, it was a heyday. Rates were great to us. Real estate was great. And then another economic something happened in 1990. Anybody know? The Gulf War hit. And when the Gulf War hit, all banks stopped lending. No one funded for 48 hours. It was like the 1647 tulip bubble. Everyone started saying, uh-oh, do I really want to buy this house? The sky's falling. I paid escrows back then. Every single one canceled and all my buyers disappeared. And for the next 5 years, Sonoma County was really in a hard place. And it sort of dropped in 95 and started going up in 98. 98 was when I joined Washington Mutual as a home loan officer. And for the next 10 years, life was beautiful. I loved Washington Mutual, and we had something called deductible rate mortgages. They're still out there. They were developed in 1981 in response to 18% fixed interest rates. So there were two different kinds of adjustable rate mortgages. One is still alive, but usually not even below what a fixed rate is. And those are ARMs. They're fixed for 5, 7, 10 years, and then they're adjustable 1 year annually after that. About that long as you're paying an extra down, maybe you're carrying money or you're selling other stuff, they recast it, meaning they take the remaining balance of the loan and they recalculate the payment to be paid off at the end of that loan. So, so rates at WAMU for 10 years was in the 6 to 7% range, 6% for primary, 7% for investor. And in 2007, 8, we had our next something happen. What was that? Implosion. They wanted WAMU, by the way, and they got it. Chase is one of the original investors. Anyway, for buying money. Anyway, so when that economic implosion happened, what happens? Rates go down because we're having a really bad market, but we have never seen values in Sonoma County drop like this. I remember homes were being sold in Windsor for 600,000, and before you could blink, they were 200,000. I had grown men crying at my desk. I owned real estate my whole life. I put all my money into it. And now it's not even worth what I owe on it, and all my life savings are gone. There were bad things that happened back then. So in response to those things, people buying multiple properties at the same time and not telling the lender, selling their home, or not even selling it, just walking away from it and hurrying up and buying a house across the street for less money. And then when that went down, they walked away from that house. So multiple foreclosures on their credit reports. It's the response to lenders these days. Well, I'll tell you, you don't see it, but when you're getting a loan, they do something, a MERS report, and the MERS report, it says every property you own. Yeah, you don't get to pretend you don't own a property, and we can see every loan you've got. And right before the end of escrows, we also do something, we pull a soft credit search. So that means it doesn't affect your credit score. If you're out there having another lender pulling a credit or even a credit card or a car payment, and it can affect you qualifying for that loan. So you don't want to, you want to keep your finances the same, that snapshot the same during an escrow. So what do I have to say? After that implosion, things are good now, right? The next major event was COVID. What did COVID do? COVID scared everybody. 2 minutes? They scared everybody. So no one wanted to go into the stock market, so the bond market became the safe haven. Rates got to 2.5% in December 2021. And then as we came out of COVID and all the economy started chugging, manufacturing is at full health. I mean, compare that to 3 years ago, but it doesn't matter. They can see it going up. So they started raising rates. Every time they say they're gonna raise a rate, they build it in immediately. So our rates went up 4.5% to 5% in 2022, as everybody here knows. And values are, now that I'm in the real estate side as well, I'm looking at the numbers for real estate. The different types of real estate and looking at the numbers and the square footage, different things. So anyway, I appreciate the opportunity, and that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, a couple of us will be up there at Anocti this weekend. That'll be exciting. We'll give you a report when we get back for the district conference. And the Blues Brothers are coming up on June 3rd. That's going to be pretty exciting too. And the day after, which was a complete surprise to everybody, they scheduled something for Stand with the Ukrainians. We'll talk about this a little bit later. We may have a, party Saturday, party Sunday going on that weekend.
President Diana,
Yeah,
can you talk for a short,
yeah, we need to talk about this with the board, so I'll call that's a good idea. We'll have a short board meeting right after this meeting, a quickie. We need to discuss a couple of things about our support for the Ukrainians.
And if there are volunteers who might be available for that event, we could really use some help. But it's going to be fun, and the bands are going to be fabulous. Look at that lineup.
Thank you, David. Yeah, and you have done so much for the Ukrainians in this area. It's terrific. Okay, now do we have any announcements?
So, Michael McLaughlin and I and others, we've been talking about how do we do the Christmas dinner? And so we want to make our own turkeys. Okay, we need 45 turkeys. I mean, I can do 2. I've got family members that'll do 3. So that's 5 cooked turkeys right there. After that, mashed potatoes, all the fixings, we can do that easily. We've got the room. So in this room, would you like to cook a turkey and bring it to the community church Christmas Day? Do we have interest?
Vegan turkey.
Okay, okay, all right, cool.
Thank you.
Anyway, it'll be fun, thanks.
Thanks for bringing this back, Deb. Thanks so much. Any more announcements? Okay, an attitude of gratitude. Do we have any grateful people in the room?
I've heard that. It's true, I am always grateful, and I can only say that while I am grateful, April is the coolest month. So in 2 weeks, I have had memorial services for my 2 closest friends from my earliest years. One introduced me to the other and passed away. And I said goodbye to my home here in Sebastopol of 38 years. And yeah, that's a good thing. And a sad thing all at the same time. And yesterday I referred my older brother for hospice. So a couple of weeks, but what I'm remembering is how grateful I am for who they are in my life and what they mean, and that makes it all worthwhile. And while I'm at it, I'm grateful to be able to be here and have somebody to share it with.
And for all you do for our club. We love having you here. Okay, well, we have things coming up, district conference. Oh, and I wish I could be two people. Yeah, district conference and Cinco de Mayo on the 5th. I won't be here. But I know a lot of you will be enjoying Mexican food at Mexico Linda Restaurant. Then we have Rebuilding Together the next day, Saturday. And the International Committee Zoom meeting on Monday, the 8th. The Rotary Board meeting the following Monday. Then we are again, thank you, Bill, High School Road cleanup. That's great. We'll be working that Saturday. You're so right. Yeah, 20th, Saturday at 9. And then Wednesday, we're back at the food bank.
One more person is signed up. Oh, so we have an equal number. So anyone who hasn't signed up, they can do Saturday. That would be good.
Well, thank you. You'll have an opportunity, yes. And next week, we have Danielle Danforth, the West County Services, and today, Kathy Hicks. Looking forward to your presentation, Kathy. Come on up.
Okay. So. No, thank you. So Kathy is a Rotarian, citizen club, and she may come down and talk to us about her. I'm gonna tell Kathy to be sure to keep the mic close. She's a lifelong entrepreneur. She is a writer and she's also a civil engineer. When back troubles derailed her physically after her plan, she decided to get herself back on track by becoming a corrective exercise specialist and personal trainer. And then in 2020, she began building an online fitness business. She currently teaches 10 classes a week online and also has one-on-one classes. She uses her engineering background and thinking to be able to help her clients accomplish wellness goals such as being pain-free, having more energy, and keeping their brains alive. So, yeah, there you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here. It's nice to, I've been needing to come to your club for quite a while just to visit, but I teach classes. I have a 7:15 class and an 8 o'clock class. I teach 10 classes a week to about 20 people who show up, usually women. I don't know why you guys won't try my class, but that's okay. I'm not gonna take it personally. But yeah, it's a privilege to be here. Having pain in your body changes your brain, right? It changes your whole life. So after we had our twins, I was like, I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna figure this out. I started studying anatomy. And I really was able to get myself out of pain. I had all kinds of issues from the feet all the way to my back, my hips, my shoulders. I had twins that were huge and I carried them around. They were lopsided. One was 3 pounds bigger than the other one. So there was issues. But yeah, exercising affects your brain. It's in the news. Everybody has seen this, right? You've seen it everywhere. Dementia is on the rise, as well as Alzheimer's. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. But Albert Einstein, greatest brain that ever thought on this planet, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. And I realized this soon after, when I started, I had 3 and under. And I realized in order to be the person I wanted to be, the mom I wanted to be, I wanted to be the soccer mom running on the field, not the one sitting in the chair that couldn't move. And so that really prompted me to get this going, get my body going again. So I decided that I could become a trainer. I could help other people. I did that about 5 years ago. And I began personal training. I had about 10 clients. I was teaching about 7 classes a week and working as a single full time and doing the kid thing. I had teenagers at high school. And the pandemic hit, and what happened? Everything shut down. And I discovered Kit Kat bars and how awesome they were. And I had a love relationship for a little bit, and I got tired of that after a while, and I decided to go on Zoom. We all figured out Zoom right during the pandemic, so that's when my online business launched. And it motivated me, and I thought, I can work out. If anybody wants to show up, you can work out with me. That's kind of how this is built. Now, the thing about the brain, as I keep moving, and more recently, this means more to me now than it did even back 5 years ago. We have cognitive issues that historically in my family, we've had schizophrenia, we have my brother's autistic, my mom is early signs of dementia, which I'm dealing with right now. And she takes care of my brother, so that's who takes my brother now. And that would be me and my other brother, his older brother. So the brain is amazing, and we're gonna learn about that. Let's talk about, just real quick, brain dementia. Alzheimer's makes up most of the dementia cases in our country. You see the trends, they're projecting more and more people are going to have this. And we can actually kind of slow this down in our own bodies and take command over some of this. Now, we can't stop it, but we can slow it down. So, and just so you probably know this, Alzheimer's is the 7th leading cause of death right now in our country. So just things to think about. Here's our brain. Most of the lobes, you see all these lobes, and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to show you what lobes are activated when you do certain activity, which is really exciting to me because I don't know, I just get excited thinking that you can activate the 5 functions of your brain by doing exercise. And, I'm passionate about exercise. I get excited when somebody can, if they've had a shoulder issue, they can lift their arm above their head, and they couldn't before. So to be able to keep your brain moving and thinking and better than before, or just keep it going is exciting to me. So most of the lobes, as you exercise, you're strengthening, you're preventing damage to the cells. You're actually preventing damage to the cells. And you're building new brain cells. Isn't that exciting? All right, so take a look at this. I love this image. Sitting quietly, you've got a nice calm, quiet brain. Take a walk, 20-minute walk. What does it do? It activates your brain. There's movement, there's blood flow, there's you get that creativity. When you're stuck at I actually, after the pandemic, I came home with my civil engineering business, set up an office, home office, and I've never looked back. I think there's about 5 people in the office now. There's no reason to go in there. That was my social place, I get very social. And now I go in there and it's just different. That's actually why I joined it. To get my social out and serve the community. So you can see how just walking is great. I heard you guys saying you walk 6 miles. That is awesome. Walking is one of the best exercises you can do for your body and your brain, your immune system. There's just so many awesome benefits to walking. But you can see for your brain, it lights it up, right? Heats it up. Long-term benefits, we probably know most of these. Your thoughts, cognitive improvement, just exercising, psychological, helps your mood. We'll talk about a little more specifically. Neurological creates the connections of the neurons, anytime you're exercising. And just feeling better about yourself, your emotions. It's good for your self-esteem. So let's take a look at this. This is kind of a fuzzy picture, but I wanted to use it anyway. You see the red there. This is a study that was done. These are the positive effects of exercising. So all the parts of the brain that are affected positively. And I'm not really sure how they determined this, but some smart person doing all kinds of case studies figured this out. Now, let's look at BMI, body mass index, which just indicates where you are in this spectrum. You know, the insurance agencies use it to rate your insurance, you know, your life insurance. And their numbers are skewed, I think, because I'm obese, according to them. But anyway, that's okay. But anyway, the body mass index will tell you how much your ratios of body fat to your muscle mass. Anyway, when your BMI is high, it negatively affects your brain. And what that means is when you have a high body mass index, cognitively you're declining. You begin to decline. You see dementia in those people, depression, anxiety. You see changes in the brain, and you see how many blue areas there. This is the blue color that we see where high BMI affects your body mass, affects your brain. And then the purple is just overlap, both negative and positive. You see where the effects of the positive effects of exercise. I just thought that was interesting. It's sometimes good to see a picture of really what's going on as you work. Now, why your brain needs exercise, blood flow. That's one of the greatest reasons why to exercise. You get blood flow in there. I teach a modality called Yamana, which is bodybuilding. I don't know, has anybody ever heard of that? I used to teach at Coach's Corner, so you might have been in the class a few years ago. Blood flow. I'm always talking about blood flow. Blood flow means that is a life force of your body. And when we do Yamada, we're sitting on a ball and we're bringing blood flow to whatever touches that ball. And that's kind of massage therapist. That's the same idea. When you exercise, you see all that blood flow and the connection from the body, from the brain to the nerves and the body, all the way to the muscles and everything. It's amazing. Get excited. New brain cells, I mentioned that. Building new brain cells when you exercise and reducing stress. And oddly enough, stress is one of those silent killers and affects us more than we think, right? Stress breaks down the body, breaks down the endocrine system. Yeah, so now exercise life releases hormones, right? Those good, happy, good feel hormones. You go outside for 10 minutes, you have just changed your mood and you've changed your immune system. Endorphins helps the self-esteem. And if you're isolated, that is one, you know, as I mentioned, my mom has dementia. She has isolated herself, even with me next door. I tried to get her to work. I'm like, you can do it on Zoom. I'm teaching on Zoom. You don't even come over. And she will not. And I see that mood, that depression. If I get her out, it's automatically, if I get her walking, makes a big difference. Mental clarity for engineering. I know I'm stuck sometimes in a project. I design site plans for different wineries and businesses, commercial, casinos, all different types of things. Getting moving, like I'll just do my steps, right? Who has a Fitbit here? Nobody? Okay, you can track your steps with your phone, so you carry your phone in the back pocket.
I track my steps.
You track your steps, yeah. It's motivating. My Fitbit will, and I'm not wearing it today, but it'll like shake and go, hey, 250 steps an hour. So it's like almost the top of the hour. You need to get going. And it's really cool to do that. It will hold you, but it'll help you through mental clarity to take a quick break and get back to it. Okay. Highways in the brain. We don't think about the brain as having highways, but your experiences, the emotions that you've been through your whole life, skills you learn, and your academia, your education, have all created these highways. They're called neural pathways. And you've heard of these probably in the news. They're talking about it a lot. And the reason they're talking about it a lot is because They, at one time, they did not believe that you could change the neural pathways in the brain. And why is that important? It's important because as you age, we can actually change those neural pathways. You could be stuck in a thought cycle, or oh, I'm really bad, or whatever it is, I'm lazy, whatever that thought pattern is. We can change it, and you can change your life. You can change how you think. The brain is neuroplastic. It is movable. You can change those pathways. It's exciting. Your brain grows and it adapts until you die, which means someone in a, say, a memory care facility, they can actually restore some of this lost brain that we can't seem to find sometimes by activating the 5 functions of the brain. And I'm going to show you how. We're going to have a little demonstration. You can keep learning, and you should keep learning, right? I always have like 5 books going at a time, different things, self-development, something that turns my brain off. Something about activity, whatever it is. You have got to always keep learning to keep your brain going. Your brain is always developing. And it's human. And your brain can take a damaged part of the brain and use a different part of the brain to do the same. It's incredible. So we have to keep it healthy. And I mean, you've heard about it. Actually, I talk about that somewhere. You are what you eat too, right? What we're eating is what we become. And let's keep going because we'll see that. Now, this is a very complicated thing, but I love this. You can do different activities and light up your different parts of your brain. So we'll just go down the list and just mention them. Lifting weights. Who lifts weights? Awesome. Lifting weights is one of the best things you can do as you age. It builds your bones. It activates the prefrontal cortex, right? But it also keeps you healthy. Lifting weights is the best thing. It's low impact. You don't have to jog. You don't have to jar your bones. Every class I teach is low impact because we don't want those repetitive injuries that we sustained when we were younger, right? We can't go out and run a race. I stopped running in my 30s because every joint was popping as I walked. I sounded like, I'm not sure what, but I got tired of it, so I stopped running. So low impact and lifting weights is awesome. Sports drills, check that out. Sports drills also use the prefrontal cortex, but also you see what the benefits of doing these things. So looking at the benefits, reasoning, multitasking, and problem solving. Sports drills, attention, switching between tasks, inhibition. I don't know if that's a good thing, but you see how important those activities are in everyday life, right? You've got to be able to still have your attention. Do you ever think, oh my gosh, I cannot concentrate anymore, right? Go out, lift some weights and come back, and maybe your mental clarity will be better. Okay, yoga. Who does yoga? I know this is yoga. Awesome. I teach Pilates. I don't do a lot of yoga, but I love it. I love what it does. Integrates thoughts and emotions, and it's right in the frontal lobe of your brain, right? I love how all of these different exercises activate a different part of the brain. HIIT intervals, right? HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training. Who does that? Anybody? Low impact, awesome. You can do it. You look young. I do low impact HIIT trainings with my people. The average age of my group is 65 to 70, mostly women, as I mentioned. That helps with appetite regulation, cravings, and addiction, right? In that part of the brain, hypothalamus. How about aerobics? Who loves aerobics? Yes, awesome. I love aerobics. I do low impact, but that helps with your memory. And then we see, even with the sports drills, there's so many benefits. It's in the cerebellum, the parietal lobe, visual, spatial processing, and attention to detail. So you see, I just love that, how, no matter what you're doing, we need to reconnect these neurons. The reason we can remember is neurons are not connecting. And the sound that a neuron makes when it connects is a smack sound. So I did not come up with this. This is like a little acronym to help you remember. Your workout, if it's strategic, it makes you think strategically. If you're thinking, you're remembering something, you're activating your memory. These are the 5 functions of the brain. Analytical, and a lot of our sports bring all of these into it. And I have a real quick activity that we're gonna do here in a sec. Creativity, kinesthetic, snap. So that's what, those are the 5. And here are the three R's of the brain. If you can respond quickly, react, and recover, that's really our goal, right? To keep our brain healthy. So I'm gonna do a demonstration. You can do this 10 minutes a day, and you can keep what you have in your brain. You can restore maybe what you've lost. And for kids, they use this little exercise modality for kids to help develop their brains.
Yeah.
And you're basically using 3 songs, 3 different exercises for 10 minutes a day. And we're gonna do these little activities. I've got an activity and it's with a song, and yeah, are you guys ready?
Sure.
So it's in your chair. So you might wanna make yourself kind of away from your table. And we do this exercise in the chair, so everybody can participate, right? It's done in schools, memory facilities. I was teaching this with in the skill facilities for people that I mean, they've got some issues. They have had a stroke. They can hardly move, but they are trying to do it. And see if we can hear this. I don't know, that's a little.
Put the mic here.
Yeah. Except I need to talk. Does anybody have another mic?
Oh, feedback.
Anything else?
Oh, is it that? All I can hold. Right. So here we go. We're gonna do. Our first one is dive in. So what I want you to do is pretend like you're swimming. We're gonna start out with a freestyle. And you can get your feet involved. With those feet kicking, you're balancing on your chair. Here we go. And I want you to close your eyes if you can and think about we're in Hawaii. And it's nice and warm, and there's a breeze. Now, let's switch it up. Let's do a backstroke. Keep those legs going, backstroke. And you're looking up at the sky and you see the clouds and they're floating by. Let's do some tunes. All right, now let's do a breaststroke with a frog kick. Froggy kick. That's great. Yeah. Oh, I know. We're gonna do a butterfly now. Used to be a swimmer, right? You're just practicing what you used to do. You can do your mermaid kick. Man, I don't know. I'm not a swimmer. All right, now we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna do team fit. So we're gonna play some baseball, right? It's baseball. Actually, you know what? It's basketball. We got this. So we're gonna dribble the ball all around you. You're gonna pass to your neighbor. You pass to a bunch of neighbors. You have as many balls as you want. You're gonna shoot and squish. You're even a Stephen Curry, right? Right? And we're gonna jog up the field, up the the court, thank you. And we're gonna go backwards. And you're breathing. Okay, team fit. And our last one is called Shake It Up Baby. We want our myofascia to be healthy, so you're gonna shake those arms. Let's start with the arms. You know the part that you don't want to shake, Shake it. Now shake your belly. And your booty, the chair. I know it's silly. Shake your leg. Other leg. Hands, fingers. Shake your head. Neck, shoulders, shimmy those shoulders. Could be silly. Shake your booty one more time. Go looking at your neighbor's booty. All right. Pose. All right, I want you to tell me, how alive do you feel? Your brain, we have just activated the 5 functions of the brain. And yeah, it's exciting. And that's what you can do every day. You can do it yourself. Make something up. Try to remember something. Use analytical, clap your hands. And that is all you have to do. Stay young. So that is it. Thank you so much for playing along.
Here we go. Maybe. And.
I don't know what to do. Oh,
It's not. I just changed time. But you know what? We are going to just go down here and do the drawing. It's the drawing. Those two don't change much, except for the names.
So, last week we had a whopping $24, $2. One $5. That week we won money for tickets into the draw, some dollars. Good enough on the city.
I think that.
With a $5. Yeah. We would love to see a winner. Not really, we'd rather see the thing roll over. Last time it rolled over, we had $170. So, yeah, just do it honest.
I can be. 214-118. Oh, right. You got it.
Oh, what? If you win, do it on your road.
Yes.
Now, Jerry, you're not taking it right now.
The red one there.
Okay.
And two. Look for the warm one. Is there in there the
Might have win a little something there. Thank you so much. We do have something left over. Does anyone own this? Anybody in here?
Jim Glom.
Jim Blom's. Okay,
Wait,
is it? Okay.
no, he's not reacting.
He's not reacting?
That's just a picture.
You have to show what's in it.
How, well, okay.
Michelle?
Does this work?
Tell us what's in it.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little glass jar in there with nothing in it.
He's waving.
I've got it. He's got it? Okay. All right. Well, Jim, we'll get that to you one way or another. Now, then Terry Kelly is not doing this because that was last week, but we have Charlie here.
What was something when Kathy was talking about her Fitbit? there were a couple things related to aging. One of them is my best day on just head counting on my Fitbit, I got 18,000 steps. But I spent almost the entire day in my car on Washboard Road. That's not a good thing. The other thing is, that as I age, my hearing is getting better. And I know that's not the way it's supposed to work, but I'm sure of it because when I hear people, when I'm driving and I hear people honking their horns at me, well, I never used to hear that.
Okay, I do want to remind you, please, board, stay after just for a few minutes for me, and we'll be getting together. And Linton, oh, it's here. I'll have you lead us off and have a Right.
Years ago, we had a speaker, he was a member